Wow with a capital W.
Wow, wow, whoopsie, 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 wow, wow.
I wonder, does he still think Wano is the worst? Hey, no talking while I'm teaching. Yes, I still think that. But I want to clarify and expound upon my point when I had said worst. Because immediately when people hear worst, their mind jumps to the farthest parallel. They think F, 0 on the test, you're repeating the grade. Have fun in summer school. And that isn't always the case. Star Wars Return of the Jedi is the worst of the original trilogy. That movie isn't by any stretch of the imagination bad, but when we're comparing it to the perfection that was A New Hope, that was Empire Strikes Back, it doesn't live up to the same standard. Of all the PlayStation consoles, PS3 was the worst, Ringo Starr was the worst Beatle, Khloe Kardashian is the worst Kardashian. Why did I just put Kardashian and Beatles in the same... Oh my god.
Give up on your dream and charge to your death.
You get the idea. By now, I hope I made it a bit more clear as to what I was saying. If I had to give this arc a letter grade, it would be a B-, but that could very easily be a C+. This arc had some of the most hype moments in the entire show, but hype moments alone do not an arc make. You can't expect to just have a bunch of hype moments and everyone's going to give you sunshine and rainbow. Oh wait, everyone does that with One Piece anyway. Most of the YouTubers and most of the community, because Oda is that level of genius that anything he does is seen as perfection, if not a little bit slightly under perfection. I've never seen too many people or a big content creator drag Oda for some of his decision making. And he hasn't made horrible decisions, but this arc, more so than any other, I think there were glaring missteps and plot-induced stupidity in order for us to get to the next stage. If you want to see more about what I have to say about it, check out that video that you just saw, or the thumbnail of that. Now, as for this chapter, I thoroughly liked this chapter. This was a very good chapter. It had many different moments in here that made me smile, seeing everyone come to terms with the fact of, wow, I think Kaido is actually defeated. Wano may actually be freed after all this time. Everything that so many people have gone through, the death, the turmoil, the plague, the starvation, it really brings a tear to thine eye. But when you stop and think about the fact that we have been here since 2018, fast approaching 5 years, what do we know about Wano thus far? Not really much of anything. Are we going to find this out in the next few chapters? I should hope so. I know not all the answers should be revealed in the beginning or even the middle, but I think we should have had at least 60% understanding of Wano's significance as opposed to the 20 to 30% that we have. And that's me being generous, because I actually think it's 10%. Look at Kinemon striking a pose like he's in Vogue magazine, like we didn't see him get folded multiple times and bled out. This raid took place over the course of a night, and yet people are getting up and recovering from injuries as if it's been weeks. Whatever, I'm glad to see he's up. I don't dislike Kinemon. I like Kinemon and all that. I knew he wasn't going to die, but I was just saying, stop putting him in clearly dieable situations and having him get up. It just defeats the purpose of stakes. And it makes the villains that do anything to him look less intimidating, i.e. Kaido. Speaking of Kaido, I guess that boy really is sleep. He's out. He's done. He's kaput. He's finished. Him and Big Mom are apparently done. If they were to get back up at this point, I wouldn't even want them to get back up, even though I think they should. But if they get up, who's going to fight them? Nobody there is capable of fighting them, even on 30% or 40% health bar or 10% health bar. Nobody there that's still up is going to be able to fight them. I just want the arc to end at this point. It feels untidy. It feels as if it's been rushed. It's just been thrown together. You know, you ever had somebody or your parents tell you to clean your room or to do something and you cut corners so your room looks like a pigsty? Mine looks pretty bad. But you just throw stuff underneath the bed because you're like, okay, look, it's clean. But then they're like, well, no, you just move some of the garbage from under the... It's clean. And if they try to make you clean that, you get angry, slam the door and say, I hate you, I'm leaving. That's how the end of this arc feels, if it really is the end. It just feels strange. It feels like there should be something else. Maybe there might be, but I just don't know how you go about doing that and how you have anyone here fight unless some new person appears. I just don't know. I think Oda's by far and away more than capable of surprising us with something new. I don't know. It may actually be the end, because why else would you have a chapter like this where everyone's all lovey-dovey and everything like that just to ruin it with some more bullcrap? I don't get it. I like Yamato going to the crew saying, "Oh, hey, I'm going to join her, or I'm blah blah blah," or whatever. I can see Luffy getting up and just being Luffy and saying no for some reason, maybe because she identifies as someone else and still not herself. But then again, I don't have a problem with her joining. At this point, people will complain sometimes about the crew being overpowered. It's been over 25 years. I do not care. They can add Kaido to the crew. They can add Shanks to the crew. They can add Imu-sama to the crew. Okay, yeah, let's calm down. But you get my point. It's time for you to be overpowered. I still hope that Carrot joins, if that's even a thing anymore. It seems once Yamato came, everyone was like, "Carrot, who's that? That rabbit that eats grass that got wrecked by Pedal Spero?" I hope she joins too. Just throw all of them on there. Like, why not? And we finally get to see what Momo looks like. And he doesn't look exactly like Oden. I was hoping that wouldn't happen. He does favor him though. You can definitely tell, yeah, that's Oden's son. And thank God that haircut is gone. That haircut irritated me after a point. What texture does his head? It's like you want to just touch his head. Like, what is that? It's like a cactus? Like the texture of his thing. Let me stop. I really love and appreciate how this was a multi-arc ordeal and instilling that conviction within Momo. This wasn't just a simple little pep talk and you can just be whatever you want to be, like America Chavez and Doctor Strange Multiverse of Sadness. This man took a long time to be this. You see the weight of his people is on his shoulders. Him coming to terms with the fact that, yes, I'm the Shogun. Being able to speak these things into existence and say, "I am the leader. I am going to lead you into the promised land. I am going to take you out of the squalor that you've been in. I apologize for not being here sooner, but I'm here now." Beautiful stuff. Marvelous. He irritated me with his cowardice at times, but he's 8 years old. It was understandable irritation. And to see him come full circle like this, if he stays this age, I guess I was hoping him and Tama may have been an item or something down the line. Maybe Oda may have Shinobu age up Tama because maybe she liked Momo at some point. I don't know. He can do whatever the hell he wants and maybe make it make sense. There's so much that hasn't made sense up until this point. But when it comes to Momo himself, I give an A+ on his whole character arc up until this point. Sensational, immaculate storytelling when it comes to Momo. I just wish the rest of the arc had some of these same things, but it just was lacking in too many different areas for me. That emotional aspect wasn't there like Enies Lobby was, like Water 7 was. I know this isn't necessarily about the Straw Hats themselves. This is about the plight of Wano's people. A promise decades in the making finally being fulfilled by the country's storied leader and his wife at the time, Toki, so Oden and Toki. But it's like that was there. It's just I needed more from here. I needed more from Kaido somewhat. He did an amazing job. They made him feel powerful, but for all of the good guys to constantly get back up and none of the bad guys to do so, I think they've just been done a disservice. We've got so many loose story threads and loose ends that need to be tied up. You still got Big Mom's crew that's falling down the same waterfall that they've been falling down most of the arc. What happens with that, I don't know. You've got the Marines out there on standby. You've got Zunisha here. Hopefully, like, I know we're going to get answers, but is it going to be fulfilling? Are we going to be satisfied with them, though? And are they going to be half answers? Oh, and we learned that Thomas Fruit powers only last a month. But if I were them, when it wears off, what are you gonna even do? Why even bother fighting? Everything that you stood for is gone. You might as well just deal with it. Just go with the flow that's here now. Why make an enemy of yourself and get wrecked? Her backstory did pull at the heartstrings as well. Oda does that phenomenally well. Once again, Momo's absolutely just phenomenal storytelling with him and his coming of age and them all bowing to him. That's epic as fuck. I'm impatient. After 5 years, I'm impatient. So if you've made it this far, tell me what you thought about the chapter. Are you like me? Do you want it to end, but you feel it shouldn't be over the way that it is right now and it feels very anticlimactic? Or do you think it's fine the way it is? Put a bow on it. Let's get to the next arc. Let's find out answers for other things. Tell me what you think. I'll see you on the next one.